before the slave ships, before the missionaries. Before the names of our gods were rewritten or forbidden, there was faith. A faith so pure it did not need temples of stone nor books of command. It lived in the wind, in the river, in the fire, in the breath of every living being. I am Africa, and I remember. I remember when my children spoke directly with the Creator, before the world renamed him, before they built walls between heaven and earth. This is the story of when Africans worshipped the real God, the unseen, unshaped, ever-present one. Chapter 1. The Age Before Name. In the beginning there were no names, only presence. The elders of Kemet, Cush, Nubia, Ife and Axum did not invent gods, they discovered what already was. They spoke of a force so vast, so radiant, it could not be contained in a single word. Before the pyramids, before carved idols, before chants of kings, the people of Africa lifted their eyes to the heavens and knew the source was one. They called it by many titles: Ra, the eternal light; Olodumare, the breath that gives life; Nyami, the great sky spirit; Chineke, the creator of all beings; Nzambi Mapungu, the flame of existence; Maulisa, the balance of moon and sun. Each tribe, each nation, each river valley had its name, but behind them all was the same rhythm, a single divine heartbeat. Long before foreign prophets wrote their scrolls, Africa's sages already knew the world was formed by voice, that creation began not in violence, but in vibration. They said, "The Word became the world," and in that word they felt the pulse of their Creator moving through everything that lived. Our temples were the mountains, our scriptures were the stars, our prophets were the drummers who spoke in thunder to the ancestors. And in that silence, the ancients heard what the world would later forget. God was not far away. God was within. Chapter 2. The Sacred Balance. The real God of Africa was never a distant king, seated on clouds, demanding worship. No. The divine was balance, the energy that held all opposites in harmony. The people of Kemet called this balance Ma'at, truth, justice, order, reciprocity. They believed the universe itself was sustained by moral rhythm, a harmony between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, male and female, night and day. To walk with the divine was to live in alignment with Ma'at, to lie, to exploit, to destroy nature. These were not sins against a jealous God, but dissonant notes in the music of existence. In Yoruba lands, they called the divine energy As, the spark that animates all things. As flowed through the trees, through the drum, through the spoken word. It was life force, breath and destiny combined. Every time a word was spoken with intention, it shaped the world. Thus to speak carelessly was to wound creation. But to speak truth, to speak blessing, was to join your voice to the Creator's. This was not religion. It was science of the soul, a sacred technology long before the world discovered electricity or medicine. Our healers understood plants not as tools, but as living spirits. Our astronomers charted stars not for conquest, but to mirror the order of heaven upon the earth. Our laws were not written by kings, but by conscience. There were no priests who demanded payment. The temple was life itself, the family, the field, the community. We greeted one another saying, "I see God in you." And to fail to live in balance was to fall from grace, not because God punished, but because harmony withdrew. Chapter 3. The Voice of the Ancestors. When we prayed, we did not shout upward, we whispered inward. We knew the Creator did not dwell in the sky, but in the unseen realm of spirit, surrounding and indwelling every life. The ancestors were not ghosts, they were continuity. They were bridges between the visible and invisible worlds. They were proof that death was not an end, but a transformation, the shedding of skin, not the loss of soul. Every family kept a shrine not of idol worship, but remembrance, a calabash of water for reflection, a candle or flame for continuity, a carved token for lineage. To speak the name of your ancestor was to activate memory itself, to pull wisdom from the soil of time. In the Congo Basin, the word Kalunga meant both sea and boundary, the great water separating worlds. When the elders poured libation upon the ground, they were opening that veil, calling across the Kalunga line, "Those who walked before us, walk with us again." We understood eternity not as endless time, but as continuous connection. To forget one's ancestors was to die twice, once in body, once in spirit. That is why when we dance, our feet strike the ground, not in vanity, but in communion. For the ground beneath us holds our lineage, and every rhythm calls them back. Chapter 4. The Divine Feminine. Before the foreign priests came preaching hierarchy, Africa knew wholeness. The real God was not male. The real God was not female. The real God was complete. In the lands of Dahomey, she was Mawu, the gentle moon, creator of compassion. He was Lisa, the blazing sun, bringer of strength. Together they formed the dual light that sustained life. In Kemet, the goddess Isis was not myth but memory, the embodiment of healing, love, and resurrection. She taught that divinity must include nurture, intuition, and care, for creation cannot exist without the womb. The Ashanti honored Asasiya, the Earth Mother who birthed all life. They taught that to mistreat the soil was to wound her body, and to exploit women was to strike at the source of creation itself. When Africans worshipped the real God, they understood that the feminine was not secondary. It was sacred. The mother's word was prophecy. The midwife's hands were holy. The matriarch's wisdom was law. Chapter 5. The Fall of Memory. Then came the ships, dark bellies built for profit, not purpose. Then came the merchants with cold eyes and iron tongues. Then came the priests with books that called our light darkness and our truth sin. They cut down our sacred trees to build altars we did not need. They burned the drums that spoke to the ancestors and called it salvation. They renamed our rivers as if the Creator's water could forget its own source. Where once there was balance, they planted fear. Where once there was reverence, they sowed shame. They taught that the divine dwelt only in their temples and not in our skin, our earth, our breath. The real God cannot be owned, and truth cannot be forgotten, only buried. Chapter 6. The Secret Survivals. Faith is a seed. Bury it deep enough, and it grows in silence. From the ashes of enslavement rose new names for old truths. In Haiti, the spirits returned as Vodun. In Cuba, as Santeria. In Brazil, as Candomblé. The spirits hid beneath Christian names. Ogun as Saint George, Yamaya as Our Lady of Regla, Shango as Saint Barbara. Every dance, every ritual, every feast was a disguised reunion with home. And through these hidden paths, the old Africa kept whispering, "I am still here." Generations passed, but the song never stopped. Chapter 7. The Return of Consciousness. Now the veil thins once more. Across oceans and generations, the drum calls again. The children of the diaspora feel a stirring in their bones, a pull toward names their tongues never learned to pronounce. They see through the mirrors of colonial faith and find their own reflections smiling back. This is the rising of Africa's second sun, not of geography, but of consciousness. Chapter 8. The Eternal Source. Expanded plus prophetic finale. In the silence before dawn, when the stars fade and the birds await light, listen. You will hear a low hum beneath the earth, a vibration older than language. That is me, Africa, the first altar, the cradle of the real God. The day is coming when nations will look to Africa not for diamonds or oil, but for wisdom. If this truth resonates with your soul, if you feel the ancestors stirring within you, then rise, share this message, and help the world remember. Like, comment, and subscribe to Africa Reclaimed, where history, spirit, and truth walk hand in hand again. Comment below, I am Africa remembering. Together we reclaim not only our history, but our divinity.